Yeah, this hasn't changed his demands. And look, when you're a superstar of AD's stature, you don't change based on a rookie, a draft pick that we don't know what he's going to be, as much as we like him. This is about a big market. Let's face it. That's what this is about. This isn't the team. They lost Rajon Rondo. Outside of that, they essentially had the same team that swept the current Western Conference finalists, Portland Trailblazers.
Because Boogie was on the team.
And Boogie was out, though.
But he was out.
Right. He was gone for the playoffs. So they swept them. So, and the organization wasn't that well run before. Now you got a solid GM in David Griffin. Okay? This is about a big market. So if AD can get to the Lakers with LeBron or still the Knicks to play with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, that's a good look. Fine. That wouldn't be a mistake. Outside of those two, though, I do think AD should reconsider. This isn't a bad situation. You got Zion, you got Drew Holiday, you got some other pieces around them, and if Julius Randle opts out, which he probably will, he's only going to make $9 million, had a very good year, and you waive and stretch a Solomon Hill, you could have $24 million to play with that helps you do a trade or get another player. Mike Conley's going to be on the market.
Yep, because they're going to draft John.
Right. So if you can get a Mike Conley to play with a Drew Holiday, AD, and Zion, that's not a bad look if he can stomach staying in the small market of New Orleans.
I think it would be what you're describing would be a bad move for New Orleans. I think it would be making the mistake they made with Anthony Davis with Zion Williamson, which is not having the long view of it, which is not looking at we have a generational transcendent talent. Let's try to build this the right way. The ability the Pelicans have since the Lakers jumped all the way up to number 4, so get the 4th pick, get 1 or 2 previous number 2 overall picks in Ingram and or Ball, or Ball and or Ingram, depending on how you want to look at it, and have immediately a young core of blue chippers. Zion's a blue chipper, the number 4 pick be a blue chipper, and those 2 guys in their draft classes were blue chippers. And for Anthony Davis's side of things, he going into year 8. He's won 5 playoff games. Not series, games. Won 1 series ever, the one you're talking about. It is not about building something. It is about going somewhere where you can contend immediately. The team you're talking about, it'd be interesting, but Conley's clearly on the downside. Drew Holiday's not going to be better than he is right now, and the timelines, to me, don't match up. And so,
how old is Davis? 25?
Anthony Davis is 26 years old. 26. Just finished year 7. He's 26 years old. So, no, Davis, I think, he's
still young enough where if those pieces could come together. And I'm with you. Again, if you can get to L.A. to play with LeBron, do it. If you can get to New York and play with KD, do it. But at some point, you mentioned 5 playoff wins. He's got to take some responsibility for that, right? Of
course.
If you're that good.
Yeah, I'm going to take some responsibility, but I'm going to get someone else to fight with me. So it doesn't make any sense for him to stay in New Orleans. I think that they should rebuild New Orleans around Zion. And right now, the NBA, it don't stand for the Young Boys Association, man. All right? Like, these is grown men in the playoff. All right? Now, you can do what you want 82 games. Yes, but in the playoffs, if Anthony Davis is going to change his legacy, it's going to happen in the playoffs. This year, how many games AD played, Nick?
He played 47?
Didn't he get 25 and 12?
Yeah.
And people don't even care.
Right.
All right? So he needs it. It's about a market, but it's also about in these big markets, you can win. KD is potentially going to be in New York. LeBron is already in Los Angeles. Why would I try to play in the Western Conference with a young superstar who, that was me 6, 7 years ago? I was the number 1 pick. And what did they put around me? I feel more secure that David Griffin's going to put more around me because he looks at himself. If Zion is Anthony Davis in 7 years, would you be happy?
Of course.
Right.
Of course. No question about it.
I'm agreeing with you guys as far as L.A. and New York, but it's not a terrible situation. Denver is young. Denver was, the youngest team in the league? Look at how far they
Denver
went.
averaging 25 on the roster. They're the 4th youngest team in the NBA currently.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Youngest team in the playoffs.
Youngest team in the playoffs. So I'm just saying it can happen. They got one young guy in Zion. Drew Holiday's a veteran. Obviously, AD. if you can get, some other type of trade. Like, I'm just saying the situation with a good GM is not
drastically
horrible.
better.
Right.
By lucking into, they thought they were going to have to trade Anthony Davis to get Zion. Now they have Zion without trading Anthony Davis. I understand that, of course, it got far better for New Orleans. But if you are Anthony Davis and you are saying, and for New Orleans' side of things, you're talking about a lot of it could be. For David Griffin, I think, is too smart to roll the dice because Davis isn't going to sign an
let
extension.
Davis stay, right.
And then what if it doesn't go well?
Yeah.
What if the people? I think Zion's going to be a 20-10 guy instantly. I've been wrong before. What if all the concerns about Zion, about his weight, about his height, about his lack of a jump shot, their rookie year, they all come true. And then Anthony Davis walks out the door for nothing, and you have stunted the growth of your young, new generational talent.
A small little thing. If the skill set was different, if Zion was a guy who could shoot lights out and had the same rep, and he wasn't a post player, I think Anthony Davis should consider staying. But now you're talking about a guy who right now, his jump shot is not broken like Ben Simmons. It's fixable. And right now he's got enough confidence he's going to take those in NBA games. But because of the position and the style, he's got to be able to move on. And these opportunities to be able to play in New York or Los Angeles with those iconic players, that's once in a lifetime stuff.
Well, the key there is that AD doesn't want to stay in New Orleans. He's already made it very clear he wants to go to the Lakers. And the Lakers, so he's talking about luck. They really lucked into getting that fourth spot. And suddenly they become far more valuable if they're going to trade with New Orleans. Do you think that happens?
For the Lakers, it depends on what New Orleans thinks of the fourth pick, Cam Reddish. And there are some scouts that have Cam Reddish as the better than R.J. Barrett, in the NBA.
Yeah, potential.
This might be a minority, but there are a lot of guys like Cam Reddish. If David Griffin and his staff like Cam Reddish as much as they like an R.J. Barrett, then that drastically improves the Lakers'
the kids
chances.
from Vanderbilt, Darius.
Yeah, the point guard. But yeah, if whoever the fourth pick is, if there's a lot of people think this is a top 3 draft and then a huge gap between the rest of the guys. If New Orleans doesn't believe that and they think they can get a blue chipper at 4, then that improves the Lakers' chances. But all things being equal, David Griffin's going to try to send Anthony Davis to the East. So that's going to work against the Lakers. Then you got Brandon Ingram with the blood clots, and I know it's not as bad in the arm.
Blood clots is a big stumbling block, but by any metric, the Lakers jumping from 11 to 4 was they were the second biggest winner last night, behind New Orleans.
Yes.
The Lakers defying the odds, going all the way to 4, to where that pick now, it's better than anything Boston has to offer. It is only one spot behind what the Knicks have to offer, and the Lakers' young players are better than the Knicks' young players. The Lakers were huge winners last night. Rob Pelinka said, yeah, we'll look at the young players. We will also look to see what value that pick has on the market.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.